Hello again. I hope you had a nice break. Let's continue with our class on advertising. Okay, listen to more of the interview with Marco Rimini. This time the question is, what are the 4 stages of a typical advertising campaign? Again, I will give you the answers here. Just take notes.
Can you take us through the typical planning and launch stages of a campaign?
So when we look at the different stages of a campaign, we tend to start always with the briefing. The first stage is to identify the brief from the client and to agree the brief with the client. It is at this stage that we tend to agree the objectives I referred to earlier. What will make the client happy after this campaign has been aired. The second stage is then to take that brief and articulate it for the people in our organisations who have to make recommendations and have ideas about the campaign itself. At this stage, we brief creative people to come up with ideas and media people to have ideas about which channels those ideas will be seen in. The third stage will be the presentation of those ideas to the client. There is then some debate. That debate process can go on for quite a long time until there's agreement. At that point of agreement, we get into the execution phase. The execution phase is where we then produce the creative material and buy the space and places in the channels of distribution for that material.
Okay, were you able to name the 4 stages of a typical advertising campaign? If it was too fast, you might prefer to press pause here and read the tape script. Press pause now. Remember to use a dictionary or Google Translate with any words you don't understand. Here are the answers. The first stage is to identify the brief. Okay, the brief is a specific, clear explanation of what the client wants. Okay? The second stage is to explain, to articulate this brief to the people in his organization, in the advertising company's organization. The third stage is then the advertising agency presents their ideas to the client, and when they agree, maybe it takes time, then they move to the execution phase. Okay, now the last part of the interview. This time, 2 questions. What are viral campaigns? And regarding the Ronaldinho viral, what did people actually argue about? Playing now.
Can you give us an example of a successful new media campaign?
One of the most successful new media campaigns, and from one of the clients that uses new media best, is Nike. Nike, of course, have a young audience who are very literate about the new media and therefore live their lives in that medium. And so rather than simply use advertising on television to talk to this youthful audience, what Nike does is they start seeding viral campaigns. And viral campaigns are pieces of film, pieces of content, which they hope will be picked up by individuals who see it, perhaps on YouTube, and passed on to their friends with comments to say, look at this piece of film, isn't it fantastic? Perhaps the most famous piece of Nike viral was Ronaldinho, the footballer, appearing to be able to lob the ball directly onto the goal bar, and it bouncing back to him 10 times. A piece of outrageous skill which was just about believable, and then the viral campaign actually actually became about, was it real or was it faked? So what is not only an entertaining piece of film, but it generated its own PR, public relations exercise, it generated its own gossip on the web. The answer was, it was fake.
Okay. Well, do you have your answers? Again, you can check here by pressing pause and reading the tape script. And when you're ready, I'll tell you the answers. Well, I think we all know these days what a viral campaign is. Okay, in fact, he only mentions YouTube. Technology advances so quickly, I think things have changed since this textbook has been issued, been printed, and probably many more social media things could have been mentioned here. And then with regards to Ronaldinho, yes, the campaign actually became about, was it real or was it faked? So it made its own PR. Okay. Now, let's move on. When we look at an advert, we don't look at it for long. So if we are thinking if an advert is successful or not, there are certain things we should consider. The impact. What is our first impression when we look at it? Do we understand it? Clarity. Does it have a clear message? Information. Does it tell us what we need to know about the product or event? And color. Color could be key to getting our attention. Now, I will show you 8 advertisements. I want you to think of these things and just on a piece of paper, 1 to 8, say successful, yes or no, with these criteria in mind. Okay? I will only show you each advert for a few seconds. This part is not for your portfolio. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. And number 8. Well, probably if you read them very quickly, you might think at first glance that they're all successful adverts. But in fact, only these 4 were successful. In fact, all these 4 adverts won awards. And this one in particular, it's not very colorful, but considering that it is about driving when you're drunk, maybe it doesn't need to be so colorful for such a somber and serious message. So these were the successful ones. These adverts had to be cancelled. These companies lost a lot of money with these adverts. This one and this one were considered sexist. And this one and this one or considered inappropriate in a time of body consciousness. And of course, there are other reasons why an advert may be unsuccessful. Bad luck. As you can see, McDonald's beautiful, colourful menu. Underneath, another one. Straight ahead, diabetes. Okay. Now, specifically for this course, you will be writing a mail shot. What is a mail shot? A mail shot is a letter advertising something or appealing for money for a charity. Mail shots are sent out to a large number of people you have built up in your customer database. Traditionally, mail shots were sent in the post, but these days the term more often applies to sending emails. And for your portfolios, your mail shot is by email. When you write a mail shot, think about, what do your customers already know about you, your business, and this specific product or service? What do they need to know about what you're offering? Why is it right for them? What are their obstacles to them taking up the offer? Can you help them overcome them? You have no more than 90 seconds to make a positive impact on the customer, and colour plays a major part in their assessment. In fact, one study suggests that between 62 to 90% of their judgment is based on the colour, with a full colour mail shot increasing the response rate by as much as 45%. Colour theory suggests that every hue has certain associations, as follows. Well, there you can read. Apparently, if your advert has lots of green, you are subliminally giving your customer feelings of safety, wealth, and growth. Yellow for support, warmth, and liveliness. White means hope, cleanliness, and purity. Blue for tranquility, trust, and productivity. Red for life, love, or warnings. So, for your portfolio, you need to do 3 things concerning mail shots. First, I want you to look at this mail shot, okay? And like before, you consider this mail shot in terms of these categories, okay? The exercise says, think about the following categories and rate this mail shot 1 to 5. 1 is the lowest, 5 is the highest. Then decide if you consider it to be successful or not. Now, okay, obviously this is not an expensive advert like we saw in the previous task. This is a local florist, okay? So for your portfolio, I've attached this document for you to categorize and decide your opinion on this mail shot. There is also a mail shot writing exercise where you insert the correct words related to sending mail shots. And if you like, you can just press pause and do it here. Okay, I've divided it into 2 parts. You can do it while you're watching the video by pressing pause now. And for the second part, you should press pause now. And finally, for your portfolio, this is the task. You work in the marketing department of a company and you are planning a marketing event and/or product launch. Try to come up with an idea for a marketing event, a fundraiser, a charity run, trade fair, etc., or for a new product or service that you would like to organize and/or bring to market. Do up a mail shot advertisement in relation to the event, product, or service.